Hey, how are you? Welcome back to Red Shoes Diary. I hope you've had an excellent week. Hope you've ate some good food, had some good laughs, and spent times with friends, family, loved ones. Well, maybe you've spent time with some that ain't so friendly family wise, but you got through it. Uh, Down here in the basement again, of course, it looks like the weather ain't going to share enough to get up doing a ridge or somewhere else, but we're going to try to pretty soon. I hope that you're happy, healthy, and fat and sassy, whichever one you want to be. To all you gentlemen out there, I wish you a very happy Father's Day. I've had an excellent one. Been blessed to be called a father or daddy or a pops or a big dad or a diddy for quite a few years now. Got to go down. I went to church and they recognized the fathers there in the church, and then went down and spent it with my daughter and granddaughter and son-in-law, and went out to eat and had a very good evening, and entertained by the granddaughter when they're 2.5 and going on 13. It sounds like sometimes you can't help but get tickled and love them. But it's been a very, very good time. I guess I need to say for me, people talk about being Father's Day, and any man can put his name on a line, can donate blood, and put his name on the line of a birth certificate. It's his father. Other side, say mother. But signing that or signing your signature or have your name put on don't make you that. Yeah, it makes you a name, a father on a piece of paper. But till you step up and become that man you should be, that's it. When you understand the word daddy, in the first few months, usually first words a child will say is dada. Yeah, I know it offends you mamas a lot, but it is true. You ladies do all the work for 9 months, then this guy pops up and it's dada, dada, dada. And yes, my daughter spoke dada first, and yeah, her mama's about ready to conk my head for it. But that's okay too. And you start hearing the words dada, and then you hear daddy, and usually a lot of times he'll cut back to dad as you get older. But to me, especially the word daddy was a word of amazement. You're just in awe of them. Daddy and mommy, you're in awe of them. And even these years later, my dad's been gone 14 years. My mom will be gone 11 years soon. They're still my mommy and my daddy. Still in awe of them. Even though they're dead and gone, a lot of stuff they've said to me still carries weight with me, even with my sisters and our children and stuff. A lot of my friends, you know, those things still bear with them. And even when I was young, I'd run into people and sometimes get tickled because they'd be older guys talking, and I'm like, I know who you are. You don't know. Well, how you know who I am? I said, you know my daddy. You don't know me, but you know my daddy. Well, who's your daddy? And never without fail, I could say who my daddy was, and usually the first thing out of their mouth was, "You've been raised right, boy. You'll work, and you've been raised right. Then you'll be a good man." It wasn't a question, will you work? It wasn't a question of anything else. The name of my father carried over to me because of the reputation he had. And, that comes from hard work, loving his family. Passage in the Bible tells you man won't take care of his family. He's worse than infidel. So that's something to think about if you're a male or even if you're a woman. How do you want to be called a mommy? Or are you a mother but you don't want to take the work? Because being a parent is a lot of work. It's a lot of sacrifices. You learn to put them first because they're relying on you. Whether it's mental, being there and letting them know they're okay, lift them up when they hit the ground. Physically, sometimes that means put them in timeout. Might mean you gotta lock that tail end up. And yes, I still believe in that. It might be that it's spiritual. You might need to pray for them, and you might need to be there with them and pray with them. That they know that you are a praying person, that you believe in God. You believe in prayer works. You can only prove that by doing it yourself and walking that line. You It takes a lot to be that, to become that a daddy, to progress from father to daddy. There's also another passage in the Bible that speaks about it. It says, how much does your earthly father, then how much more does your heavenly father love you? And that's something to think about. He always wants the best for you. And he'll let you make you mistakes and do stupid stuff. And sin is pleasurable for a season. He'll turn you loose, let you have at it. But sooner or later, he's going to get your attention and get you, he'll do it to where you decide to come back to him or you completely turn against him, which I hope and pray you don't ever do that. But, I've been blessed, folks. I've been blessed not only to have a blood child, but other children of my heart that I've got to call my kids. I told them once they showed up in my life, from this point on, you're my kid. First I'm concerned, you're mine. Yes, they had blood fathers, mothers and stuff, but they was my kids. Most of them was nicknamed. If I hollered that nickname, they'd turn. And if I spoke their given name, it was dead stop looking like, uh-oh. But, I would speak my daughter's middle name, and she's cutting it shine with her mama. I'd get a phone call saying, well, your daughter, she's never my daughter unless she pushed every button of her mama's. Then I get the call. And I might put her on, she'd tell me what's going on, I'd put her on the phone. And I'd just say her middle name. And then we'd have a discussion what would happen to her if she didn't mind her mama or do what she's supposed to do. And I would always ask her, are we going to have to talk about this again? No, Daddy, we won't. And I'd always tell her I loved her. Of course, she'd hand the phone back to her mama, and her mama would be like, what'd you say to her? Looks kill, she'd knock me out right now. I said, you won't have a problem the rest of the day. And she wouldn't. And my daughter tell you this day, the worst thing she hated to hear from her mama was, do I need to call your daddy? But I'm blessed, folks, and I hope that you've been blessed. I hope that if you're a male and you have children, you are that daddy, that father figure. Not only physically there, but mentally, spiritually, especially spiritually. And I hope that you follow that line. If you ain't spiritually even your own self, maybe you need to get your own self there, then go find your kids. I don't know. I don't know your situation. But I do know it makes a whole lot of difference when you are. But anyway, folks, I hope wherever you're at, you have a week comes up a great time. Again, happy Father's Day to all the gentlemen out there. And those that might be soon or ain't got there, but will be. I hope that when that time comes and beautiful woman progressed and gave you a beautiful child, boy or girl, you'll take that responsibility, truly take it responsibility and see what it is. It's a gift from God, but to help that is you got to step up. You got to make the sacrifices. You got to put them first to help raise them right. Raising them doesn't mean you give them everything they wish either. Lots of times it's no. It's like your Heavenly Father sometimes tells you no. Because what's good, what you want ain't always good for you. But that's my opinion. I hope you take it. Maybe run with it, or if it offends you, that's your prerogative, and I respect that if it does. Anyway, one and all, have a great week. Be safe out there. Looks like we're going to get rain all week again this week, so I guess we'll just see what that brings. Might have to do some inside chores. And they stuff needs to be done, I reckon. Maybe catch up on a little sleep, who knows. But anyway, again, may the good Lord take a liking to you, but not too soon. And as always, I'll see you.